In a village trapped between jagged hills and stubborn soil, there lived a farmer named Elias. Most men in the village planned their lives one season at a time. Plant, harvest, survive, repeat. But Elias lived differently. He carried a future in his chest that no one else could see, and it made him dangerous in a quiet way. One afternoon, he returned from the market with no grain, no corn, no wheat. Only a small pouch of shriveled brown seeds. His wife stared at them. His children said nothing. "This," Elias said at last, his voice steady though his hands trembled, "is our future." They were Chinese bamboo seeds, worthless to anyone who didn't understand patience. The first year, Elias worked as if the land had already answered him. Before dawn, he carried water from the river until his shoulders screamed. He dug, measured, planted, and marked the soil carefully. Every evening, he poured water into bare earth that gave nothing back. Weeks passed, then months. The field remained empty. The second year came, and still Elias watered. One morning, his neighbor Joris leaned over the fence, grinning as he surveyed his own waist-high corn. "Still watering dirt, Elias?" he called. "You could at least grow something that grows." Elias didn't argue. He didn't explain. He only said quietly, "Your corn feeds us today. The bamboo will feed our children's children." Joris laughed and walked away. By the third year, the laughter had spread. People stopped mocking him out loud and started whispering instead. Some said Elias had lost his mind. Others said pride had ruined him, that a man who couldn't admit failure was more dangerous than a poor harvest. By the fourth year, even the whispers grew tired. The field was still empty. Elias's hands were cracked and swollen, his boots were worn thin, his children were thinner. There were nights when his wife stared at the ceiling, wondering how long faith could survive hunger. And Elias stood over that lifeless patch of earth every single day, carrying a weight heavier than water. Doubt. There were moments, real moments, when he thought about stopping, about planting something else, about admitting he'd been wrong. But every morning he lifted the bucket anyway, not because he felt strong, but because quitting would mean admitting that 4 years of sacrifice meant nothing. Then came the dawn of the 5th year. At first, Elias thought his eyes were playing tricks on him. A tiny green spike pierced the crust of the soil, fragile, almost laughable. Then another appeared, and another. Within days, the impossible happened. The earth erupted. The bamboo didn't grow, it surged, 3 feet every single day. 5 weeks later, towering emerald stalks stretched nearly 90 feet into the sky, swaying like a living forest against the clouds. The same villagers who once pitied Elias now stood silent at the edge of the field. No one laughed. The harvest changed everything. Elias and his children cut thick, powerful poles, stronger than timber, more valuable than grain. Carts filled. Coins returned to empty pockets. That night, for the first time in years, the family sat around a table that didn't feel like an apology. Roasted chicken, sweet fruit, warm bread. But the richest thing in the room wasn't the food. It was the look in his children's eyes, the quiet understanding that their father hadn't been foolish. He had been early. The villagers called it an overnight miracle. Elias never did. The bamboo hadn't grown 90 feet in 5 weeks. It had grown 90 feet in 5 years, deep in the dark, where no one clapped, praised, or believed. If Elias had skipped even 1 day of watering during those silent years, the roots would have died unseen, and the forest would never have existed. That year, the village changed. People stopped panicking when nothing happened quickly. They stopped confusing silence with failure. And they learned a truth most never do. Just because you can't see progress doesn't mean nothing is happening. Remember this: your silent years are not wasted. You're not behind. You're not lost. You're building roots for a 90-foot future. Take a moment before you move on. If this episode gave you something to think about, give it a like, subscribe, give us a comment down below. Until next time, stay focused.